In what is being described as a direct and honest conversation, President Joe Biden issued a stark warning to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that future U.S. support for Israel's Gaza war depends on the swift implementation of new steps to protect civilians and aid workers.
The leaders discussed the situation in Gaza. The president emphasized that the strikes on humanitarian workers and the overall humanitarian situation are unacceptable. He made clear the need for Israel to announce a series of specific, concrete, and measurable steps to address civilian harm, humanitarian suffering, and the safety of aid workers.
Biden and Netanyahu's roughly 30-minute call just days after Israeli airstrikes killed 7 food aid workers in Gaza added a new layer of complication to the leaders' increasingly strained relationship. Biden's message marks a sharp change in his administration's steadfast support for Israel's war efforts, with the U.S. leader for the first time threatening to rethink his backing if Israel doesn't change its tactics and allow much more humanitarian aid into Gaza.
What we want to see are some real changes on the Israeli side. If we don't see changes from their side, there'll have to be changes from our side.
Administration officials had said before that announcement that the U.S. would assess whether the Israeli moves go far enough. Biden made clear the need for Israel to announce and implement a series of specific, concrete, and measurable steps to address civilian harm, humanitarian suffering, and the safety of aid workers, the White House said in a statement following the leader's call. He made clear that U.S. policy with respect to Gaza will be determined by our assessment of Israel's immediate action on these steps. Biden also told Netanyahu that reaching an immediate ceasefire in exchange for the estimated 100 hostages that are still being held in Gaza was essential, and urged Israel to reach such an accord without delay, according to the White House.
He underscored that an immediate ceasefire is essential to stabilize and improve the humanitarian situation and to protect innocent civilians. And he urged the Prime Minister to empower his negotiators to conclude a deal without delay to bring the hostages home.
Netanyahu's office said early Friday that his security cabinet has approved a series of immediate steps to increase the flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza, including the reopening of a key crossing that was destroyed in the October 7th Hamas attack. Erez Crossing, which for years served as the only passenger terminal for people to move in and out of Gaza, would be temporarily reopened. Israel would allow its Ashdod port to be used to process aid shipments bound for Gaza and allow increased Jordanian aid shipments through another land crossing. Biden also renewed his concerns about Netanyahu's plan to carry out an operation in the southern city of Rafah, where about 1.5 million displaced Palestinians are sheltering as Israel looks to eliminate Hamas following the militant group's deadly October 7th attack. Vice President Kamala Harris, Blinken, and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan also joined the call. Biden and Netanyahu also discussed Iranian threats against Israel. Earlier this week, Iranian leaders vowed to hit back after an airstrike widely blamed on Israel destroyed Iran's consulate in Syria, killing 12 people, including 2 elite Iranian generals. Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi said Wednesday, the attack will not remain without answer.